This is Umar Ahmed for IFL TV in association with MTK Global, joined by Dean Whyte. It's been ages, man. We used to do an interview, I think 2 or 3 times a week, me and you.
Yeah, sometimes. I'm going to do Iffy. Hey, I want to hold this, please. Is it showing me hold or you hold? I'm joking. Let me stop. Sorry about that. But, yeah, you hold. It's all fine. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I remember that interview with FA in Brooklyn, and he was like, no, I want to hold the mic.
That is a funny interview. I was watching it. I messaged you yesterday, innit? But nah, he's interesting. He's not a bad talent, but he's still got a lot of learning to do, on the mic and in the ring.
Well, him and Dubois are kind of titled as the next tier of heavyweights who are going to stay on top. Hrgovic is there as well. Who do you think out of them 3 are going to make it?
Hrgovic is a top boy, and very, very strong as well. You know, Dubois is up there as well. Obviously, a UK lad, big, strong. He's got to get past Joe Joyce shortly. So, you know, let's see. And FA, he's good, but you saw he climbed up from the canvas. Not this fight, the previous fight. But that was a guy who had vast experience. He was in the Klitschko camp when we was down there. So, you know, that guy's been around the block. So that's a good, solid win for him as well. But that guy's really a blown-up cruiserweight. So, yeah.
We'll go through each heavyweight fight. I do want to start with your brother and Alexander Povetkin. It's kind of getting ridiculous now how many risks your brother's taking. Whilst he could just wait around for that shot at Tyson Fury or whoever holds the WBC belt next year in February, he's boxed now Joseph Parker, Lucas Brown, Oscar Rivas, Alexander Povetkin, Derek Chisora twice, Robert Helenius, who's just had a very good knockout win over Adam Kalnaxi. So that win looks a little bit better. And that was a tough performance for Dylan, actually, compared to the others.
No, absolutely. Listen, people forget who Robert Helenius was. He was a big prospect coming up back in the day when he had his fight with Derek, and so, yeah, he beat Chisora. And he can punch. Even Dill said in that fight, listen, that guy can punch like a mule. You know what I mean? And I think he had a time where he lost, I think, was it to...
Was lost to Gerald Washington recently, actually, which was a surprise.
Did he? Wow, that's terrible, lost that one. But
I don't know what happened with Adam Kalnaxi the other night.
Yeah, something didn't go well for him. But you know what, it's sometimes when you get caught cold, you know, things like that can happen, and it's heavyweight boxing as well. But, you know, at least he's come back, and like he said, that win looks a little bit better now, because obviously people were kind of complaining about the win and saying, oh, you had a hard fight with him. But he's a top fighter, and he showed that now, so he's right back in the mix.
In terms of Whyte-Povetkin, I think Povetkin, it's fair to say, has come into the end of his career, but still top 7, arguably heavyweight in the world, so it's a fantastic fight.
Right up there. I know I keep talking about it, but, you know, if you look at Saudi against Hunter, what a performance. It was a fight of 2 halves, man. Seriously was, you know. And in the middle, there was good trade-offs with both of them. So, I mean, like, you know, he's still got a lot in the tank. But maybe that could have been him at his pinnacle. That could have been like him reaching absolute max. Can he go back to the well again at 40 years of age, you know? But we're talking about someone who is an Olympian, former Olympian, a former WBA world champion. So he's got good pedigree. He's strong, he's solid. His gears are slow. But he once he gets going, he's hard to stop. And he's only lost his 2 losses with Joshua and Klitschko. So I mean, you know that he has got still a lot in the tank. Yeah, you know. So you know, so Dill needs to be on his A game to go out there and get a convincing win. If he gets a stoppage, it's great because it's a big statement. But we'll take a win however it comes.
Do you think that would be his best win of his career if he beats Alexander Povetkin?
Yeah, I think that would be right up there with the best of them, because, you know, when, like he said, he gave Joshua a good run for his money. I heard Joshua had a fluoro cold and, you know, he had some issues, but he still had to hit the target, and he broke his nose or damaged his nose, and he was giving him a good run for his money early. He's quite a small heavyweight, so sometimes when you look at them, they're probably quite deceptively, probably maybe a little bit deceptively fast, and he was catching Joshua early, you know. So let's see, but what I do know is he's durable, he's strong, and he's got a lot of experience, and I think if Dill can win convincingly and get a stoppage, I think that will go down as definitely one of the highlights of his career so far.
We could have a situation potentially where Dylan's fight with Alexander is pushed back because what's going on.
Obviously, everyone's talking about the coronavirus and what's going on, so there is a possibility. Let's hope not, because we're talking about virtually, May, and then Chisora's end of May going on to June. So let's hope really that it gets itself to be contained by then. And but across the waters in Italy and in America, Ukraine, there's lots of they're locking up shop and they're closing everything down. So I'm not going to be surprised if they do it here shortly. Because
get your toilet rolling.
Oh bloody hell! I think they're all gone now, innit? We're out.
Right, let's just say it does get pushed back, because there is a strong chance that could happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dylan then probably boxes late summer, early autumn, right? So
he's going to be very upset.
Yeah, I bet. All fighters are going to be upset.
Yeah.
Oh, so we've got two...
He might fight before then. He might fight somewhere else.
You?
Yeah, I've got to stay away from him, trust me.
We've got two scenarios here. So we've got scenario one where he boxes on May 2nd. How many times would you like him to box this year before he gets that mandatory shot?
I'm sure there's another possibility. He could box 3 times this year or 2 times. It's all down to negotiation, how much time he wants off, and all the virus and loads of other things. But so if he gets to box now, he could box September and then December, or he could box October, November, and then that's it. So it could be just another 2 times. But it just depends what kind of level of opponent you're talking about fighting, because that dictates how long. Because if you want a 10-week camp and then you want a bit of rest and so on, it's not going to leave much room for that kind of thing. So it's just one of them, innit? So let's see what happens, like you say, because if that gets pushed back, then the likelihood he might just have another one, or but there is a possibility he could have 3 fights by the end of the year. But like I said, it all depends on the opponent he's fighting and the time in between. Because if he fights now, I'm sure he could. What we're talking about, May? So potentially he could fight again in September, and he could fight in December. But then you're not going to fight December and then February. I don't know. It just depends on the level of opponents, because you want to maybe keep active, keep sharp, keep loose, keep nimble. You know what I mean? So let's see.
Joshua and Tyson Fury both go into tough fights. We can't forget that. Deontay Wilder isn't just a bum overnight. He's Deontay Wilder, one of the hardest punchers ever. But Tyson Fury is expected to win that fight, going off the rematch. Same with Anthony Joshua against Pulev, arguably a top 10 heavyweight. Pulev, but Anthony Joshua is expected. If both that happens, who would you rather see Dylan fight? In that Anthony Joshua rematch or Tyson Fury?
There's many. I don't know. As a businessman, you look at the Anthony Joshua fight, everyone looks at it as a golden ticket. It's probably the fight that pays the most. But I mean, it just depends where the fight's done, because the Tyson Fury fight, he's contracted to fight in America for the next few fights. So I guess he's getting paid quite decent money doing those fights. So if he's done over there, I'm sure the money deal will be offered will probably be career high, purse. But Anthony Joshua fight is a bigger fight in terms of money, but then he's been waiting for the WBC for a long time. So maybe he just wants to do that fight to say, I've done that route. But, I'm sure him and his team will decide and look at that and figure it out. But I mean, for me, I'm not fussed. As long as he gets his opportunity, I think it's only due and it's only fair and it's only right that he gets the opportunity to fight for a world title. Well,
no, yeah, of course it'd be for the WBC. I'm just saying it's most likely either Joshua Fury holds that belt when your brother's mandatory. Just wondering what you and Dill think would be the better fight for him, really.
I don't really have any thought on that. I know they've got a great rivalry, them two. But I mean, I don't, like you say, because watch this, the trilogy happens. Do these lot get a unification at the end of the year? And then is that what you're trying to do?
That was looking like what was going to happen. But with this virus, we don't know if Wilder Fury is going to get pushed back, Joshua-Pulev is going to. So it might delay the undisputed fight.
Yeah, no, I understand. So that's what I was just trying to figure out where the angle was coming from.
Boxing's so complicated anyways, this virus is making it so much
more. Now the virus has added a new element. So, it's just one of them. But listen, we got to get past Povetkin first instead of looking past. But I'm not sure which one. I think both of those fights are top fights. They're both top boys. And Dylan's up there with them 1, 2, and 3. So I think any one of them at any given time would be a great fight. But I think imagining Dylan Whyte versus the Gypsy King press conference, man, that would be a talk-off, mate. That would be a press conference and a half. So if you're talking about that, to get the blood boiling and to have a good old tear-up of words, that would be interesting.
What have you made of all this glove conspiracy with Tyson Fury?
I'm not interested in that. The man won fair and square. I don't know what, maybe it's the angle, how they slow it down. I don't know what that's about. But for me, I'm not really interested in the glove situation. The man won fair and square, you know what I mean?
Load of rubbish, to be honest, I think.
People are making up this and that. Remember, them glove situation, they were talking about that from the first fight. They didn't make such a big song and dance about it when he was on the floor and he nearly got his ass knocked out. So now that he smoked their guy, why is it such a big deal that, you know what I mean? And I'm sure he would have damaged his hands if he didn't have any wraps under there, because you can't punch without wraps properly. You'd probably break all these bloody fingers, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, it's just smoke and screens what they're trying to...
As if the Nevada Commission would allow that anyway.
Exactly, and that's what I said to them before. Your hands get checked in the room, they get checked, they wrap them, they sign them off, then you put your gloves on, they wrap them and sign off. When you get in the ring, he checks your gloves, looks at them, it's just not going to happen. So, I don't know, these guys, they try and make up stuff as they go along.
Usyk-Chisora have just squared off today in London.
Yeah.
What did you make of that fight? Usyk is favourite going into it, but what chance do you give Del Boy?
Yeah, no, it's a brilliant fight. You know, Usyk is a phenomenal fighter, you know what I mean? Southpaw, he's done it all, man, you know what I mean? When you talk about him, he's going to go down as one of the best, as his stablemate Lomachenko, you know? So it's definitely an interesting fight. You know, I'm hoping Derek can pull it off and go there, like he says, and bring the pain and bring the pressure and maybe pull off the greatest upset that we've ever seen.
What's happening with yourself anyways? Shakan Pitters, we know the situation with him. Who else are you managing?
I've got a few other boys. I've got Mason Smith, a guy over there who's with Derek now. If he should be fighting, hopefully on the undercard, hopefully. So I think that's it at the minute, really.
I know Mason,
and I got Steve Woodall. So I'm just looking for dates for some of these boys, you know. But yeah, again, it is a bit of a difficult time. A few of the shows that potentially I was going to go on, they've actually cancelled them already. So.
Well, with the smaller hall ones, like obviously they just rely on tickets being sold, so you need the public there for the show to go on. So for the smaller hall scene, it's really bad.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. Listen, there's been a lot of complaining already. I had a few people I've been speaking to on the phone. Not many. Some of them ain't promoting that much anymore. Some of the shows that they had recently have been pulled, and then some of the shows are full already. So it is a hard game, you know what I mean? So I've got to just keep plugging away and try and find the shows to plug the boys onto.
Shakan's not on a bad TV station, no, Channel 5.
Yeah, Channel 5, man, he's done all right. They've got him on there. Let's see how that works out. Hopefully it does good numbers and stuff. And they say it goes out to nearly 2 million viewers. I'm not too sure if what is the case there, but Arcus David will give us more of an indication. He's the man who knows about it. I might actually ask him next.
All right, well, Dean, thank you for your time here. Hopefully your fight with, not your fight, sorry, your brother's fight with Alexander Povetkin. You ain't fighting Alexander Povetkin. Hopefully that does go on, and all the other heavyweight fights, but at the moment we can't really say for sure.
Only time will tell, man. I'm sure in the next week or so, a lot of things will become clearer.
Stock up on your toilet roll, people. Cheers, Dean.
Trust me, I think it's all gone already, mate. It's all gone. Trust me.